If your life seems to be falling apart, if certainty has crumbled to dust and the ground beneath your feet seems to have disappeared, breathe. You did not find this video by chance. It found you at the very point where your soul is preparing for its greatest leap. I feel in my spirit that you are on the verge of a revelation. In order for this message to reach you and for you not to lose the thread of this divine transmission, I ask that before I even begin, you subscribe to this channel now. Activate the bell to be notified of each truth revealed and share this video with someone who, like you, feels the weight of chaos but yearns for a new beginning. This is your portal. Cross it with us. You look in the mirror and barely recognize your image. What was once solid is now liquid. What seemed certain has crumbled into a pile of uncertainty. Relationships have crumbled, projects have stalled. The path you swore was your destiny has abruptly closed. You feel the weight of loss, the pain of emptiness, the despair of a future that has suddenly become a gigantic question mark. I'm losing everything, your mind screams, echoing the anguish of a spirit that feels adrift. But what if I told you that this is the biggest lie that fear, deception, and illusion try to whisper in your ears? What if I revealed to you that what you perceive as loss is not the end, but the most profound and strategic maneuver of the universe for your greater good? You are not losing everything. You are being prepared. You are being stripped of what is useless, of what held you back, of what prevented you from reaching your true divine stature. Each door that closed was not a denial, but a forced redirection, a gentle, or not so gentle, push off a path that was never yours. Each painful goodbye was not an abandonment, but a release of your spirit from connections that no longer resonated with the higher frequency of your future. You are not losing everything. You are realigning. And this realignment is not a punishment, but the most profound blessing in disguise, the preparation for a harvest that will surpass anything you have ever dreamed of. Take a deep breath, chosen soul. What you feel is not annihilation, but the sacred rearrangement of your destiny. Every piece out of place is being carefully repositioned by the universe, not for your destruction, but for your ascension. This is the message the sky whispers today. The emptiness you feel is the space being created for what is to come. Forced detachment is the universe clearing your path. Confusion is but the fog before unimaginable clarity. Surrender to the process, for the hand that removed the old is making room for the incomparably new. Trust the wisdom of chaos, for it is your catalyst. Chaos is not your enemy, it is your master. What you label as disorder, as uncontrollable mess, as the dissolution of all that you have known, is actually the invisible hand of creation at its most potent. Think of a seed. For new life to germinate, the shell must crack. The darkness and pressure of the earth are not a punishment, but the ideal environment for transformation to occur. Likewise, the earthquake that shakes the foundations of your life does not come to knock you down, but to reveal the solidity or the fragility of your foundations. It is in the eye of the storm, when everything seems to be spinning out of control, that your true priorities are revealed, your false securities are exposed, and your innate resilience is forced to emerge. You were crying out for change, weren't you? You were longing for a new chapter, weren't you? The universe, in its supreme intelligence, is simply answering that call in a way that your limited mind cannot readily comprehend. The energy you feel as turbulence is the raw force of metamorphosis. It is the universe breaking old patterns, eliminating stagnant energies, untangling entanglements that have bound you to a past that no longer serves you. Every loose thread, every unraveling knot, every creaking and slamming door is not a mistake of fate, but a divine adjustment, an energetic calibration for your next phase. Chaos is your catalyst, the alchemical agent that transforms the lead of your pain into the gold of your wisdom. It does not come to destroy you, but to awaken you from a deep slumber, to force you to see things from a perspective that your comfort zone would never allow. It is the laboratory of the soul, where your greatest weaknesses are exposed to be transmuted into unshakable strengths, where fear is confronted by courage and doubt dissolves into faith. Embrace chaos, for it carries the seed of your greatest expansion. Allow it to reorganize, allow it to purify, allow it to prepare the ground for the manifestation of a destiny that is greater than you can imagine. You are not losing everything. You are being remade, fiber by fiber, to become the most authentic and powerful version of who you truly are. You were chosen before you were born. This phrase resonates deep within your soul because its truth transcends time and space. Before you even took your first breath on this earthly plane, a divine plan was laid out for your journey. Every challenge, every detour, every seeming failure is not a mere accident, but part of a greater cosmic orchestration. And the chaos you are experiencing now is the turning point, the crucial movement in the symphony of your destiny. The universe does not make mistakes. The divine plan does not fail. If the structures around you seem to be crumbling, it is not a sign that you are being punished or abandoned, but that the foundations of your old self, the limitations you unconsciously accepted, the beliefs that kept you trapped in a cycle of repetition, are being gently, or not so gently, imploded to make way for something infinitely greater. This is divine engineering in action, reconfiguring your spiritual DNA for the next phase of your mission. Think about it. How many times have you asked for clarity, for purpose, for a path that truly makes sense? And how many times have you found yourself trapped in situations, relationships, or jobs that drained your energy, that kept you stuck in a state of stagnation, despite your deepest longings? Chaos is the answer. It is the hammer that breaks the wall that separates you from your true freedom. It is the current that sweeps you away from the safe but shallow shore into the deep and limitless ocean of your possibilities. You may feel the chill of detachment, the fear of the unknown, but behind that feeling is a calculated movement, a purpose that will lift you beyond your wildest expectations. The universe is clearing the ground, removing the weeds, so that the seeds of your true potential can finally blossom unimpeded. Trust this process, even if your rational mind refuses to comprehend it. Your spirit already knows. Your soul yearns for this freedom, this expansion. The pains of realignment are the pains of growing, the pains of a butterfly breaking out of its cocoon. You are not losing control. You are gaining sovereignty over your true self. What seems like the end of everything is actually the beginning of a new era, a gateway to your most authentic and powerful manifestation. Embrace uncertainty with the faith that every movement of chaos is propelling you toward your glorious destiny. You are not waking up, you are remembering. Do you remember that inner voice, the whisper of your intuition that you sometimes ignored in the name of logic or convenience? Do you remember the signs, the little cracks in reality that showed you that something didn't fit, that the universe had other plans for you, but you resisted, clinging to the familiar, to what gave you a false sense of security? Well, now the universe, in its infinite wisdom and relentless love, is forcing your memory. It is showing you, unequivocally, what you already knew deep down, that the life you were living was not your true life, that the connections you maintained were not nourishing your soul in its entirety, that the paths you were walking were not leading you to your highest purpose. Chaos is the great revealer. It tears away the veil of illusion, undoes the masks, and exposes the raw, liberating truth. And the truth is that you no longer need to hide. You no longer need to conform. You no longer need to dim your light to fit into the small spaces that the world tries to impose on you. Each apparent Loss is a sacred invitation to reconnect with your purest, wildest, most divine essence. It is a call for you to dare to be all that you are, without excuses, without justifications. What is being born from this chaos is a new version of you, more authentic, stronger, more aligned with your soul mission. The tears you shed are tears of purification, washing away the old to make room for the new. The confusion you feel is the natural disorientation of someone who is moving between worlds, leaving one behind and preparing to enter another. Embrace this transition. Trust that each step, even the most painful ones, is taking you to your true home, to your true power. You are being realigned not to a life of lesserness, but to a life of fullness, abundance, and unparalleled purpose. Do not fight the river that now flows. Surrender to the current, for it will take you exactly where you need to be. The new you is emerging from the ashes of the old, and it is glorious. The seeds of your future are being planted in this very moment of seeming disarray. Be patient, be strong, be you. The harvest will be bountiful. What you perceive as the disintegration of your life, the breaking of ties and the ruin of plans, is, in fact, an orchestrated deconstruction. Imagine a chrysalis. It needs to fall apart completely so that the butterfly can be born. It is not a loss, it is a vital process of metamorphosis. The foundations that seem to crack and give way are not your punishment, but rather the foundations of an old structure, perhaps comfortable, but which no longer supports your new size, your new vibration, your new purpose. These foundations were built at a time when you did not know who you really were, at a time when you accepted less than you deserved, when you settled for mediocrity out of fear of the unknown. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, cannot build the new on the old. It needs clean, fertile, and unobstructed ground to sow the seeds of what is to come. Chaos is the hoe, the divine task force that is removing emotional debris, limiting beliefs, stagnant energies, and connections that, although familiar, have become invisible shackles. You are not losing everything, you are being set free. Every fragment that is released, every goodbye that tears at the soul, every door that slams shut, is a space being opened, a chain being broken. This deconstruction is an act of divine love, a reconfiguration so that you can finally walk in your fullness, without the shackles of a past that no longer defines you. Feel the pain, yes, but understand that it is the pain of childbirth, the pain of growth, the pain of a colossal rebirth. What seems like the end is, in fact, the beginning of a new divine architecture for your life, a construction that will be done under the supervision of your higher self, aligned with your true soul purpose. Your soul is expanding, and this expansion demands space. Chaos is just ensuring that you have the space you need to unfold your wings and fly like never before. Embrace deconstruction, for it is the prelude to your greatest manifestation. In the midst of all this apparent collapse, you find yourself with a strength you never knew you had. Where you once saw fragility, now there is an unshakable rock. Where you expected to crumble, you find yourself standing, breathing, feeling, and most importantly, growing. This resilience, which emerges like a mighty river in the midst of drought, is no accident. It is your divine essence manifesting itself, proving to itself that it is stronger than any storm. Chaos has this primordial function. It forces us to access internal reservoirs of power that, in the comfort zone, would remain untouched. It is when everything fails that you discover that you do not need external crutches. Your support comes from within, from an inexhaustible source of courage, faith, and determination. You are forced to adapt, to innovate, to trust your intuition in a way you never have before. What once seemed like an insurmountable obstacle becomes the stepping stone to the next level of your existence. The tears shed are the water that nourishes the seeds of your wisdom. Enforced solitude is the gateway to your deepest connection with yourself and the divine. Each scar is a badge of honor, a testament that you have not only survived but thrived in the midst of adversity. This newfound strength is not just for survival, it is the foundation for your next phase, for building your true legacy. You are being prepared to lead, to inspire, to be a beacon in times of uncertainty. Chaos, by stripping away the superfluous, is revealing the rare gem that you have always been, but which has been hidden beneath layers of expectations and conformity. This is your trial by fire, and you are emerging purer, stronger, brighter than you ever imagined. Embrace your resilience, for it is your compass and your armor on the journey ahead. You were chosen before you were born. For this very moment, the chaos that surrounds you is not random. It is a sign, a summons, a confirmation that you are part of a hidden spiritual lineage, one of those who have been designated to lead the way in times of great transition. If you feel on the verge of collapse, it is because the pressure is activating a dormant potential, forcing you to awaken to your true purpose. The universe would not entrust such a crucial mission to someone without the capacity to endure and transform it. The intensity of your experience is directly proportional to the magnitude of your calling. This is not a time of punishment, but of purification and acceleration. Each challenge is a divine tool to sharpen your skills, to expand your consciousness, and to strengthen you for the task that awaits you. You are being prepared to be a point of reference, a safe haven for those who will feel lost when the world they know falls apart. Your ability to stand firm, to find peace in the eye of the storm, will be your greatest testimony. Those who see you staggering today, but will see you rising with wisdom and grace, will be the same ones who seek your guidance tomorrow. Chaos is your catalyst because it forces you to align with your true essence, to discard what is superficial, and to embrace what is eternal and unchanging within you. It is your call to take your place on the front lines of the collective awakening, not as an accidental survivor, but as a conscious architect of a new world. Every piece that seems to be falling apart is actually rearranging itself for a greater purpose, a purpose that transcends your current understanding. Trust. The vision is becoming clear, and you are an integral part of it. Your chaos is the tuner that connects you to the frequency of your mission. The emptiness you feel after losses is not a hollow, despairing space. It is a creative void, the fertile ground where the seeds of your most authentic and abundant future will be planted. Imagine a farmer who, in order to prepare the land for a new and rich harvest, must plow, remove rocks, burn what is old, and leave the soil bare for a time. It is a process that seems devastating at first glance, but it is absolutely essential for the abundance that will come. In the same way, the universe is plowing your being, removing the debris of a past that no longer serves you, creating a sacred space for what is to come. The discomfort you feel is the soil turning, oxygenating itself, preparing itself. Do not fear this emptiness. Do not try to fill it immediately with distractions or old patterns. Allow yourself to feel this spaciousness, this clarity that arises when the excess is removed. It is in this silence, in this apparent absence, that the deepest inspirations will blossom, that the most innovative ideas will emerge, and that your true self will begin to communicate with you more clearly and powerfully. This is the time for introspection, for conscious sowing. What seeds do you wish to plant now that the ground has been cleared? What kind of future do you long to build with your acquired wisdom and newfound strength? Chaos not only cleanses, it also illuminates what is truly essential. It forces you to look within, to reevaluate your values, to redefine your purpose. You're not losing everything. You are realigning yourself to plant the seeds of a garden you have always wanted to cultivate but never had the right soil for. Chaos is the divine gardener, and emptiness is the promise of an unprecedented harvest. Trust the creative void, for it is the cradle of your next great cycle of life and abundance. The sharpest pain you feel in the midst of chaos is not necessarily the pain of loss itself, but the pain of resistance. Resistance to letting go, resistance to the process of surrender. Fear of the unknown is an invisible shackle forged by past experiences and social programming that teaches us to value stability, even if that stability means stagnation. Our rational minds cling desperately to the familiar, the predictable, even if the familiar is suffocating us and the predictable is preventing us from growing. It is like a hand clinging to a dead branch while the main trunk blossoms elsewhere. The illusion of security keeps us trapped in situations, people, and patterns that no longer resonate with our highest truth. Chaos is the universe breaking that dead branch, gently at first, more forcefully if we resist. The feeling that I am losing everything is the lament of the ego as it sees its control slipping, as it realizes the fragility of its temporary constructs. But the soul, in its infinite wisdom, knows that for the seed to blossom, it must shed its shell. For the tree to grow, it must shed its dry leaves. For the butterfly to fly, it must leave its cocoon behind. And for you to ascend, you must shed the bonds of the past and the false securities of the present. This inner resistance, this struggle against the current of the divine flow, is what causes the greatest suffering. Embrace fluidity. Allow the river of life to take you where you need to go, even if the path seems uncertain. With each item you let go of, whether it be a material possession, a belief, a relationship, you are not losing, you are gaining lightness, freedom, and space for the new. Your resistance is the anchor that keeps you from sailing. Chaos is cutting through that anchor so that you can sail into wider and more promising seas. True power lies in surrender, in trusting that the universe is working in your favor, even when the physical evidence seems to contradict that truth. Free yourself from the need to control what cannot be controlled and trust in the divine plan. There was a moment, perhaps a specific day, perhaps a sequence of events that built up, that marked the turning point, the unleashing of catalytic chaos in your life. This was not a fluke, a failure, or a series of unfortunate accidents. It was perfect synchronicity, divine orchestration that manifested itself to initiate your great transformation. For many, life is a series of routines, a predictable flow that is rarely questioned. You, however, reached a point where your soul could no longer tolerate stagnation. Your spirit, hungry for growth and expansion, began sending you signals, little whispers, intuitions. Perhaps you ignored these signals, putting off change out of fear or convenience. Then the universe, in its supreme intelligence and loving insistence, had to turn up the volume. The whisper became a scream, the signal became a collapse. Chaos is this divine acceleration, the push needed to finally move in the direction of your destiny. It dismantles excuses, dissolves illusions, and forces you to face your truth. It's a process that feels violent but is deeply healing. Every piece that comes loose, every relationship that ends, every project that falls apart is making room for the true architecture of your life. It's like a surgeon removing a malignant tumor. The process is painful but necessary for healing and life to move forward. Chaos is the spiritual surgery that removes what was preventing you from thriving. It's not a punishment, but a divine intervention. And the timing is impeccable. You are ready, more than ready. Your soul yearns for this freedom, this expansion. The pain you feel is the last echo of a past that is being transcended. Look back and you will see that every moment of difficulty, every seeming setback was a preparation for this now. You are not losing everything. You are being realigned, and this realignment is the starting point for your greatest ascension. Chaos is your catalyst, the hammer that forges your new self. The human mind, conditioned to linearity and predictability, struggles to understand the logic of chaos. It sees destruction where the universe sees creation. It sees loss where the divine plan sees abundance. Creative destruction is one of the greatest enigmas of the process of evolution. For a forest to renew itself and flourish with greater vigor, a fire may be necessary to burn away the old and fertilize the soil. For a star to be born, a previous star must collapse in an explosion of energy. You are experiencing your own process of creative destruction. What is being dismantled in your life is not an end, but fertilizer for your future. Relationships that dissolve make way for more authentic and aligned connections. Projects that fail free you to undertake ventures that resonate more deeply with your purpose. The stability that fades away allows you to build on more solid and true foundations, those that come from within. Chaos is your catalyst because it reveals your innate ability to create from nothing, to manifest abundance from emptiness. It forces you to rely not on the external and ephemeral, but on your inner creative power, your connection to the limitless source of all things. You are learning that true security lies not in material possessions or external validations, but in your unshakable faith in yourself and the divine plan. The seeds of your future were planted in the fertile ground of this apparent disorder. What appears to be scarcity today is the promise of abundance tomorrow. Embrace the paradox of creative destruction. Understand that in order for the new to emerge in your life, the old must go. Don't mourn what is gone, but celebrate the space that is being created. Abundance is not accumulation, but fluidity. The ability to attract and manifest what is necessary for your evolution. And in this process of dismantling, you are becoming a master manifester, an alchemist of reality itself. Your journey through the chaos is not just for your own growth and realignment. It is part of a greater legacy, a testament that will serve as a beacon for countless other souls who will soon face their own storms. You are being prepared to be a guide, a living example that it is possible to not only survive the dismantling, but to flourish through it. Your story will become a map, your scars a guide for those who will seek their way through their own darkness. The universe is writing a new chapter in your life, and that chapter will be read by many. Every tear you have shed, every fear you have overcome, every piece of yourself you have rebuilt will be a source of inspiration and hope. When you share your truth, when you show your vulnerability and your strength, you not only heal yourself, but you heal others. The chaos is your catalyst because it is transforming you into a leader, a teacher, an agent of change for the collective awakening. Your testimony is living proof that life does not happen to you, but because of you. That every seeming setback is actually a divine push toward your true greatness. The legacy of chaos is not one of pain, but of empowerment. It is not one of ruin, but of rebirth. You are becoming the embodiment of resilience, proof that the human soul, when aligned with the divine, is indomitable. And this legacy will reverberate for generations, inspiring courage and faith in all who are blessed to cross your path. The world needs your story, your truth, and your light. Prepare to be its beacon. The apparent turbulence you are experiencing is not just a dismantling of external structures, but a deep vibrational calibration of your being. Imagine that you are a musical instrument. In order for it to play the highest and most complex melodies, it must undergo a fine-tuning, where each string is stretched and tuned until it resonates at the perfect frequency. Chaos is the divine tuner, forcing you to release the dissonances, the low frequencies of fear, guilt, scarcity, anger, and victimization. Each challenge is an opportunity for you to raise your vibration, to tune into your soul's frequency, which is naturally one of love, peace, abundance, and purpose. When the outside world seems to be falling apart, it is an invitation for you to go deeper within yourself, to find the unshakable stability that resides at your center. It is there, in this stillness in the eye of the storm, that you reconnect with your true essence and calibrate your frequency to attract what truly belongs on your elevated path. The losses are simply the removal of energies and entities that no longer vibrate in tune with your new frequency. Each of these detachments is an energetic cleansing, a relief that you may only realize in retrospect. You are not losing everything. You are realigning yourself to attract the resonance of your true abundance and the connections that will nourish you on your journey. Your frequency is being adjusted to the next octave of your existence, preparing you to receive and hold more light, more love, more prosperity. This calibration process is painful, yes, but absolutely necessary for your ascension. Embrace the divine attunement, for it will empower you to play the symphony of your life in perfect harmony with the universe. Detachment, often seen as a painful consequence of chaos, is actually a gateway to your true freedom. Think of a seed. In order for it to germinate, it must let go of its outer shell, the shell that surrounds and protects it. The shell, which was once essential to its survival, becomes an impediment to its growth. Likewise, the things, people, beliefs, and situations that you have held onto throughout your life, no matter how important they may have been at a given moment, may now be limiting your potential. Chaos is the universe ripping off these shells, freeing you to expand. The pain of detachment is the pain of separation from an old identity, from a comfort zone, from a self that no longer serves your next phase. But this pain is temporary. The freedom that comes afterward is eternal. You are not losing everything. You are shedding unnecessary weight, the dead weight that was keeping you from flying. Each detachment is an act of faith in the divine process, a trust that as you let go of what no longer belongs to you, something much better and more aligned will come to fill that space. It is an invitation to live more lightly, more authentically, without the need to accumulate or control in order to feel safe. True security lies in your unshakable connection to the source of life, in your ability to flow with the tides of existence. Chaos is your catalyst because it forces you to practice detachment in a radical but necessary way. It teaches you that true abundance is not in possession, but in the freedom to be, to create, and to manifest. Cross this portal of detachment with courage, for on the other side awaits you a life of freedom and fulfillment that you never imagined possible. When the structures of your life seem to crumble, when the familiar falls apart, it is in this space of rupture that the most profound enlightenment occurs. Chaos is a veil being torn away, revealing truths that were previously hidden by routine, distractions, and social masks. It is in the silence of desolation, in the stillness of uncertainty, that your inner voice becomes clearer, that the signs of the universe become undeniable. You begin to see patterns, to understand why certain things happened, to connect dots that previously seemed disconnected. This clarity that comes from rupture is a gift. It allows you to identify the roots of your problems, the limiting beliefs that have kept you stuck, and the energies that have been draining you. It is an opportunity to free yourself from illusions, false narratives, and patterns of repetition that have been holding you back. Chaos is your catalyst because it forces you to look at your own shadow, to confront your deepest fears, and to integrate the parts of yourself that you have denied. It is a process of inner alchemy, where what was once pain and confusion is transformed into wisdom and insight. You are not losing everything. You are gaining an expanded perspective, a vision that transcends the drama and leads you to a higher understanding of your purpose. This enlightenment of disruption is your greatest blessing, for it empowers you to navigate the challenges ahead with unshakable wisdom. Embrace the revelations that arise from the chaos, for they are your compass for the new path. You are experiencing the flight of the phoenix. The phoenix is the mythical bird that, upon sensing the end of its cycle, builds its own pyre and consumes itself in flames, only to be reborn from the ashes, stronger, more beautiful, and more majestic than before. Chaos is your pyre. It does not come to destroy you definitively, but to incinerate what is old, what no longer serves you, what was limiting you, allowing you to be reborn into a new and glorious phase of your existence. The flames of crisis are not to annihilate you, but to purify you, to burn away the impurities and reveal the gold of your essence. The pain you feel is the heat of the purifying fire, the discomfort of transmutation. But from the ashes, a new you emerges, with a clearer vision, a more defined purpose, and a power you never imagined. You are not losing everything. You are rising, ascending to a level of consciousness and manifestation that can only be achieved through a radical process of detachment and rebirth. Chaos is your catalyst, because it forces you to release the old version of yourself, to discard the identities that have imprisoned you, and to embrace your true nature as a limitless and powerful being. This is your moment to soar above expectations, above limitations, above what you thought was possible. The flight of the phoenix is a promise that no matter how intense the flames seem, you will be reborn. And your rebirth will be a living testament to your unwavering strength and your ability to transform adversity into triumph. Embrace the fire, for it will take you to the heavens. Your journey through chaos is teaching you the mastery of flow, the art of moving with the current of life rather than fighting it. For too long, you may have tried to control every aspect of your existence, clinging to certainties and planning every step. But the universe, in its infinite wisdom, is demonstrating that true freedom lies in surrender and trust. Chaos is the torrent that breaks the dams you have built around yourself, forcing you to dive into the river of life that always flows into the ocean of your evolution. You are learning to dance with uncertainty, to find peace in impermanence, and to trust that each wave, even the most turbulent, is taking you exactly where you need to go. This mastery of flow does not mean passivity, but rather an active and conscious surrender to universal intelligence. It is knowing when to act and when to allow, when to row and when to let go. Chaos is your catalyst because it frees you from the illusion of control, showing you that your true power lies in aligning with divine will rather than trying to impose your own. By realigning with this flow, you become a conduit for the abundance, opportunities, and connections the universe is eager to send your way. The losses you mourn are simply the detours that kept you from the mainstream of your destiny. Now, you are back on track, sailing with the confidence of knowing that life is on your side. Embrace the mastery of the flow, for it will take you to destinations greater than any plan you could have conceived. Amidst the clamor of chaos, when the external noise seems deafening, the universe invites you to listen to the voice of silence. This voice does not shout, it whispers. It resides in the stillness of your heart, in the intuition that manifests when the mind is still. The dismantling of your external life, painful as it may be, is creating an internal space for this voice to be heard clearly. You are being forced to withdraw from the noise of the world, to disconnect from distractions, and to turn inward. It is in this inner refuge that the deepest answers will emerge, that your truth will reveal itself, and that divine guidance will become unmistakable. Chaos is your catalyst because it purifies you of the excess of information, the opinions of others, and the expectations of society, allowing you to hear your own innate wisdom. The losses are simply the removal of the voices that have been confusing you, the paths that have been diverting you from your true purpose. Now you are learning to discern truth from deception, to follow your own inner compass even when the outside world seems crazy. This voice of silence is your direct connection to the divine, your inexhaustible source of peace, clarity, and direction. Do not underestimate it. It is your greatest ally on the journey that unfolds. Embrace the silence, for it is the melody of your soul and the key to your enlightenment. The uncertainty that surrounds you, however uncomfortable it may be, is not a sign of weakness or that you are lost. Quite the contrary. It is the incubator of your glorious future, the space where new possibilities and yet-to-be-revealed destinies are being gestated. Imagine a newly planted field. The seed is there, but what will emerge from the earth is still uncertain to the naked eye. Uncertainty is the promise of unlimited potential, the assurance that your path is not yet written and that you have the power to co-create your reality in a way that has never been possible before. Chaos is your catalyst because it forces you to let go of the need to have all the answers, to control every outcome. It invites you to live in faith, to trust the process, to embrace the magic of the unknown. Losses are just clearing the ground so that new seeds, more aligned with your purpose, can germinate. You are being prepared to receive something much greater than what you could have imagined. Uncertainty is your ally, for it keeps you open, receptive, and flexible to the blessings the universe is about to bestow upon you. Don't fight uncertainty. Embrace it as the blank canvas upon which your new life will be painted with the most vibrant colors of your soul. Your future is a gift wrapped in uncertainty, waiting to be unveiled. You are not losing everything, you are realigning. Chaos is your catalyst. This is the truth that now pulses through every fiber of your being, the understanding that has transformed your pain into power and your confusion into clarity. You have emerged from the ashes not as a survivor, but as a conscious architect of your destiny, a beacon of light to a world yearning for direction. The legacy of your realignment is not just personal, it is universal. Your new existence, your unshakable peace, your acquired wisdom will be a living testament to the fact that adversity can be transmuted into rising adversity. Those who watched you stumble will now see you shine with a light that can never be extinguished. Your every step, every decision aligned with your truth, every manifestation of your new self will be an invitation for others to allow themselves to realign, embracing their own chaos as catalysts. You are living proof that the universe works for those who trust, even when the path is hard. Your purpose is greater than you imagined, and your light is needed more than ever. Embrace your magnificence, for your journey is a map for humanity. You are not losing everything. You are finding all that you are, and the world is waiting to be illuminated by your essence. If your soul resonated with this message, if the truth about chaos as a catalyst and divine realignment lit a fire in your heart, then you know you are not alone. We are a community of souls in constant evolution, unraveling the mysteries of chaos and embracing the light that emerges from it. Your story is a powerful testimony, and your awakening is essential for the world. Leave a comment below with the phrase, "Chaos is my catalyst, I am realigned," and share your journey. Subscribe to the channel to continue receiving these divine transmissions, and share this video with everyone who needs to understand that apparent loss is, in fact, a portal to something greater. Together, we realign the world.